All right, everybody, how you doing? Excited for you to be with us today. We got a lot to go over and a lot to talk about. So let me get this going. There we go. We're going to be talking about competitive market analysis today. This is one of the big, huge elements when it comes to real estate investing. And I would say it's one of the biggest mistakes people make. I get asked quite frequently, what are the biggest mistakes people make in real estate? And what I typically say is, they undervalue what the property will, they'll overvalue what the property will sell for, meaning they think the property will sell for more than what it really will. They underestimate the amount of rehab costs that it will take, meaning it's going to cost 50, but they think it's going to cost 30. And then the third one is they don't have a strategy on how to find properties, off-market properties. Those are the three big mistakes that I see potential real estate investors making all the time. And so we want to tackle one of those today. And what we're going to be talking about is how to do competitive market analysis in real estate, how to make those determinations. So excited for you to be with us. What you're going to walk away with the end of today is how to determine the neighborhoods that you're investing in, how to select comparables, the risk factors that are involved and how to utilize those or how to know what to do with those, and actually how to pull comparables so you know you're actually doing comparables the appropriate way so you can avoid some of these risks that real estate investors are making. At the end of today, if you stay until the end, we typically do a weekly giveaway in addition to our swag giveaway. But in our weekly giveaway, property value analysis worksheet, we're going to give you a free copy of this. I'm going to be showing you that. Actually, I can just show you right now. This is our property value analysis worksheet. It tells you what to do, gives you all the instructions. It shows you how to value, what to do. It'll help you come up with an estimated value. This is a huge tool. I use it all the time. I've been investing in real estate for over 20 years. I still use this. And so whether you're new or you're an expert, you'll find a lot of value out of using this property valuation analysis. And we're giving that away to everybody that stays till the end of the call. We'll show you how you can get a copy of that absolutely for free. So stick around for that. Our disclaimer, this shows for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any financial moves, consult with a real estate professional, attorney, CPA, or other professional who is an expert in the subject matter. Everybody's situation is different, and there is not one size fits all approach or guarantee to work for all investors. DHM may receive payments from sponsorships, guests in the form of books, giveaways, items, discounts, or other remunerations. As with anything in life, results come from education, following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through until the end. Welcome. Please tell me your name and what state and city you are investing in. Just put it into the chat with where you are investing and what your name is. And honestly, it's going to be a huge help for me because we're going to talk about some specifics in some areas, and I'd like to use your area as an example. So big help. Let's see, Chris in Paris, Texas. Maybe we'll use Paris, Texas. Chris, how big is Paris, Texas? And I'm sure the population, I guess, is maybe the answer there. If you're watching this as a recording, please join us live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and join us. And we're here every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Free swag! I've got a big announcement. I don't know if you can see my cool I Flippin' Did It shirt. This is one of the new shirts we just hot off the press. We just got them today. Big thanks to John. It's got our little logo on the back. They look, well, I can actually show you here. We're going to be giving this one away for next week's winner, for this week, I guess is how you say it. So if you're interested in getting one of these I Flippin' Did It shirts, and it's got our little logo on the back there, super awesome. We can hook you up on how to get one of these. And let's see, Chris is telling me, okay, Kendall from Chicago, Illinois, that's huge. Chris, 25,000 people, I gotcha. Cheryl from Cornfield, here from California. Okay, gotcha. Kendall, great. Defiance, Ohio, from Israel. Great, fantastic. So free swag. Today, what we're giving away, this is from last week's. What we're giving away, we've got the Do Hard Money Cool OGO hat. These ones feel amazing. This material is incredible. We've got the insulator jug. We've got the sports bottle, which I love. I need to take a few more of these home because we're running out of them down in the exercise room. Somehow they get lost, you know. We've got an exercise band. I've got the hand gripper. We've got a wristband, a DHM squishy house, and a DHM sticker that's coming your way. So we'll be announcing this winner of this will get announced. They've already been selected. They're actually in the slides, so hopefully you're with us today. And for next week, the one we'll be announcing next week, which is this week's winner, we've got our Flip and Did It shirt. Let me make sure you can see it. What do you guys think of this shirt? Let me know what you think. So we've got this shirt coming. Let's see, what size have I got here? We got a large. We've got another insulation there. We've got another exercise thing. We've got a jump rope. Oh, this is really cool. This is our financial freedom worksheet, and we've got a DVD. Oh, it's not opening. So this is the financial freedom worksheet. Oh, come on. That video is not looking good on there. And it's got everything. It's got the DVD, the USB right there, and the worksheet. So we'll be sending this out. This, again, will be announcing this winner. You can win that for this week by your comments and what you're saying here. So we'll talk about that. Let me get all this stuff back in here because that will be for our next week's giveaway. Oh, and we also have a stress house, and this is one of my favorites. These are the ice packs that go in there. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. And how do you earn this free swag? What we're looking for is we'll announce the end of last week's winner will get announced at the end of today. And so if you're interested in winning free swag, please put in the comments. Why don't you just do this? Why don't you tell me what your shirt size is? Just be like, hey, I'm an XL. I want a large. Tell me what you're looking for. Put it in the comments. We'll make sure we do our best to hook you up with the right size. If you want to earn some free swag, tell us what size shirt you want. How do you get the free swag? Well, what we're looking for is great questions. People that are participating. They're thinking about what we're talking about. They're asking questions about this or about anything real estate related. They're leaving positive comments, not just in this, but in the recorded video as well. Comments on the recording video and high interaction. We're looking for people that want interaction. And based upon all of that, I'll choose one person that we'll be announcing for next week. We'll announce it. So it's this week's winner, announced next week. And at the end of this recording, we'll be announcing last week's winner and shipping this box out to you. So who wants some free swag? Let's talk about this real quick. Chris, you want to be our free swag winner? We'll see. Kendall, you want to be our free swag winner? Cheryl, you want to be our free swag winner? Israel, you want to be the free swag winner? Mike, you want to be our free swag winner? Just put it in the comments here. I just want to know if it's something I am that I am. Joe, are you in Texas? You want to win some free swag? Chris says that large will fit me perfectly. All right, Chris. Hopefully you'll be the winner for this week. I'm looking to get my first deal done. Well, I forget your name. Joe, you are in the right place. Kendall wants a large as well. So yeah, we got a large in here, so that should work. All right, that's what we're looking for. So thank you for your comments. Please keep them coming. Last week was amazing. We had hundreds of comments last week. We want to do that again this week. Tara says, thank you for helping my flip go smoothly. Worth the investment. I love it. And so happy. That's the other thing. The other way you can get one of these killer shirts is by doing a deal with us. And we're going to send you one when you flip and do your first flip. I flip and did it. I love it. Nixon1, looking forward to this. Let's do this. Thanks for the great comments. Chris, is this the same Chris? Yes, Chris that wants the large. Chris, good information, especially good when you watch live every week. Chris, thank you for watching live every week. Learned a few new things as well as trying the demo out. Chris, what do you think of the demo? Put it in the comments. I want to hear. Okay, let's see. We got a bunch of stuff. Mike says he wants a large. Israel, yes, I do. Cheryl says, yeah, she wants the swag. Israel wants a 2X for him. I gotcha, buddy. Let's see. Investors. Okay, Cheryl. What are you asking on investors? Let me know. Hershon wants swag. What size you want, Hershon? I want to get you the right size. If you like these live casts and you want to see them continue, and I know there's a lot of you that do, I really need your help. I really do. We're at 4,380 subscribers. My goal by the end of October is 4,455 subscribers. So we've got 75 subscribers to go to get us there. Now it's just the start, right? I'm sorry. This should say November. October is over. So it's just the start for us. But we want to get there. We want to get 75 more subscribers. So I would certainly appreciate it. So if you're listening right now and you're not currently a Do Hard Money subscriber, please be a subscriber. So hit the thumbs up on the recorded video, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. Let's see here. Swag Daddy, we got that Harshun wants the large. That's great because I got a large in the box already. So coffee cups. Cheryl is asking for coffee cups. We don't really have any. We don't really have any coffee cups on the swag. We've got some for our team members, but I don't think we've got any extras. I'm sorry. I wish we could, but Cheryl C will take the shirt. Working on it with the limited time on the demo. I want to get my LLC established in Texas first. Chris, don't get your LLC established for us. If you're wanting some funding, those things through us, what we actually like to do is set up an LLC for each individual deal. So when you're making an offer on a property, you'll put your name and LLC to be created. And then you can create a new LLC just for that one property. So I wouldn't spend any time or money waiting or working on the LLC. I put it in your name and or assigns. And then when you get where you're flipping like 5 houses a year, then you may want to create an LLC, and then that LLC can own the new LLC that's going to be the holding company for that property. We do what's called a special purpose entity, where the LLC is created just for that one purpose. You'll find that's the way to go. So hopefully that helps you, Chris. If you've got some questions, hit us up. But please, if you're not currently a subscriber, go and subscribe now and type in the comments, I'm the newest subscriber to DHM. Who knows, maybe that'll win you a t-shirt and the swag box for the week. Our YouTube channel is Do Hard Money, DOHRDMONEY, and leave a comment on the recorded video as well. And the biggest compliment you can give me if you enjoy these is to tell someone else about it. And there's nothing like having financial friends that are learning the same things that you are wanting to learn as well. Chris, okay, we'll do the demo this week. Yeah, fantastic, Chris. Jump in with both feet. Real estate market update. Here's what I got. Yahoo Finance says the National Association of Realtors this week reported the U.S. existing home sales surged in September to levels not seen in more than 15 years. Or 14 years, excuse me. I can't read my own typing. So they haven't seen this surge like they have had in 14 years. It's also been a boon for builders who are confident as they have ever been. The National Association of Builders reported this week as they rush to meet the demands of several undersupplied housing markets. Indeed, single-family housing starts are proceeding at the fastest clip. So we've got all-time high values in the last 14 years, plus we've got housing starts the highest they've ever been in 13 years. We need more good housing. And that's where us as investors can come in and help out, taking properties that are not in great shape and making them in great shape. But you got to get the off-market properties. If you didn't watch our live cast from last week, I recommend it. We talked a lot about off-market properties. Go check it out on our Do Hard Money YouTube channel. Building off July and August rebound, consumer spending more freely in September. Retail sales rose strongly with buyers splurging on building materials, cars, food at the grocery stores. Notably, restaurant sales dropped during the month. One thing to keep in mind, I don't know if you've looked at costs of construction, like 2x4s right now are more expensive than they have ever been. The largest spike in used cars and truck prices since 1969. That's a long time ago. 1969, we had the largest spike in used car sales since 1969 when bell bottoms, flower power, groovy tunes ruled the airwaves. If you had bell bottoms, I think they're kind of coming back, maybe. I don't know. If you've had bell bottoms, put it in the chat. I'd be interested to know. Let's see. We got a lot going on. Chris, okay, we talked about that. Greg wants a large. That's what's in the box, Greg. So if you're the winner this week, it'll be coming your way. I just came to Do Hard Money a week ago. I'm ready to do my first deal. Israel. Let's flip and do it, man. Let's do it. Let's see. Sort of new, Cheryl. Okay, gotcha. Let's help you out. Greg from Reno, Nevada, not too far from here, where I'm sitting right now. Glad to have you, Greg. Who else? Who else wants to be part of this? Again, let me know where you're at so that we can tailor some of the training for today specifically to you. The real story in real estate is just how strong the housing market has been and continues to be. We'll get into this a little bit more below, but existing home sales were up 6 million level. And on the new home sales side, they've crossed the 1 million mark. There's nothing left to be said, but wow. Oh, Cheryl had bell bottoms. I love it. Thanks for letting me know. That's awesome. Rising home prices are keeping prospective buyers out of home ownership. Home prices usually drop in the fall, but median home prices are hovering near summer highs at $350,000 last week, up 12.9% for the week ending October 3rd, compared to the same time last year, according to Realtor.com. The monthly jobs report showed that September unemployment continued to improve as sectors like leisure, hospitality, retail, healthcare, adding back jobs. Altogether, payroll rose by 661,000. Let's see here. Hershawn, I hope I'm saying it right. Thanks to Investors Edge. Love the system. I love it. Hershawn, I'm so happy that you're enjoying it. It can help you so much. The current state of the housing market isn't expected to change anytime soon. It is part due to many buyers thinking that the market wouldn't be as seller-friendly as it is right now. According to Freddie Mac, the average interest rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage with 0.6 points paid in fees was 2.81%, down 6 basis points on the week. This has fallen from 3.69%. I honestly didn't think interest rates would go any lower than they were last year. 3.69% was incredible, and we're now at like 2.8, and I've heard a few like at 2.5. Unbelievable. You got to take advantage of it. You just got to. Let's see here. The Fed suggests the worst of the crisis is over, according to Yahoo Finance. Let's give a little bit on the COVID-19 update as we fall into fall. I don't know if that's the right thing to say as we move into wintertime here. Nationally, we're seeing an uptick, guys. There's no doubts about it. This is how many beds that are needed. This is ICU beds. This is ventilators that are going to kind of be needed. This is where we're at right now for the nation, and we're expecting to see an increase in beds that are going to be needed. We're seeing an increase in ICUs. One of the things we're seeing more of is the COVID has not been as fatal as was originally projected. And that's not to say that to take away or diminish anybody who may have lost a loved one because of it. It's sincerely unfortunate and difficult, no question. But the overall trend has been significantly lower in fatality than was ever expected, which is good news. But we still want to do everything we can to curb that. Like in Virginia, available beds is 6,581 with 1,297 in use. You can see the uptick on that. Liz, which is in North Carolina, 7,126 with 1,583, and you can also see the uptick coming here as well. So it's following the trend of what we're thinking for the, and this is all projection. This could all change tomorrow, but this is the projection. This is where we're at. Everything up until this today line is all historical and accurate, and everything moving forward is a forecast of what they're guessing. Olivia Baker in Maryland, I got this for you, 3,961 beds with 530 in use. We talked about this, but China just became the first country to grow its economy, meaning it increased, the economics increased after COVID-19. I'm really optimistic about that and excited. The first cases in China were November 17th. It makes me hopeful that we're getting closer. If you think about it, we were, March is when we started seeing our cases. We're kind of in March. So we'll hit that year mark here coming up in 5 months. 5 or 6 months. So we're getting a little bit closer to that, which I'm excited and hope that we can start getting to the other side of this. Risk of COVID-19 exposure on planes is virtually non-existent when masks are worn, shows a study according to ABC News. Could the live flu vaccination help you fight off COVID? According to NPR, they say it can. New CDC reports 94% of patients who died from COVID had other health issues. COVID-19 top science stories of the week. Immune reaction to some common colds might provide protection about COVID-19. Sean saying, made the investment months ago, but I've not been able to put in the time. I'm totally tripping. Ready to put my investment to work. Yeah, it does take time, Sean. There's no question about it, but stick with it. I think one of the best things you can do is just carve out so much time every week and say, hey, I'm going to spend a couple of hours every single day, or I'm going to spend an hour every single day, and I'm going to spend 5 hours on Saturday or on Sunday morning and go and do some of these things and take it in. I find that most people just are not they're scared to go make an offer. And so get over those fears. That's probably one of the best things that I could say, Sean. But I hope that's helpful. If not, hit me up with some more comments here. Kids might be less susceptible to catching and spreading the novel coronavirus than adults are. I find this fascinating. If you're a kid up to 19, you have a 5.2% risk of catching it if you live with someone that has it. If you are between the ages of 20 and 50, you have a 14.8% risk if you live with somebody that has it. And if you are over the age of 60, you have an 18.4% risk of getting it if you live with somebody that has COVID. So I think, though, that's interesting to keep in mind. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Sean. Absolutely. We're here for you, man. We want to make it happen. All right, guys. It is that time to jump really in depth on this, how to do comparative market analysis. This is something you've got to understand. Too many people delegate their success to real estate agents and just plan on a real estate agent telling them how much the property is going to sell for. That is interesting, but you've got to be able to do the research yourself, have access to the information to do the research yourself in order to make sure that you are doing a good investment. So that's what we're going to talk about today in quite a bit of detail. And who is it that was going to do their trial? We'll come back to you, but we're going to talk about some trial for doing competitive market analysis. Okay, how to do competitive market analysis in real estate. What you are going to learn today is how to determine the neighborhood. There's so much you can know about the neighborhood. We're going to get into details on this. How to select comparables, what makes a good comp and what is not a good comp. We're going to talk about risk factors. We're going to talk about exactly how to pull comps. So first off, let's just get started here. What is a competitive market analysis, also known as a CMA? What is an acronym, CMA, competitive market analysis? What is it? Well, there's a couple of different types. There's two types. There's as is. That's the current condition of the property. What will this property sell for in its current condition? That's what we're asking when we do an as-is CMA. Then there's the ARV, the after repaired value CMA. And that is what the property's worth once it's actually fixed up, once the work is done to the property. That is what an ARV CMA is. And if you want both, you're actually doing two separate reports. You're doing one as an as-is and one as an after repaired. Or with the sheet we have, we combine both of them to make it even easier for you. With actives and solds, we'll get into that. You are trying to determine what the property will sell for once the repairs are actually done. So the question is, where the heck do you start? Values can be very overwhelming. And so the question is, where do you start? So first, don't look at the values or the current prices. Don't try and say, an agent said it's worth this, or Zillow says it's worth this, or Redfin, or whatever the case is. No, you don't just want to do a guess and say, I recommend you don't try and figure out what those values are. And you also want to try and stay as unbiased as possible. If you fall in love with your own deal, you can get yourself in trouble or get heartbroken later if those values don't come in. So you want to be as unbiased as possible. And one of the ways you can be unbiased is don't be emotional. So basically you're saying, you know what? Whether this comes in good or comes in bad, it doesn't really matter. I want to get to the right information. I want to be the detective that in the end I'm right and I sell it for what I think this property can sell for. That's the important thing here, is to be the detective, be the Sherlock Holmes. And so in order for you to really get to the bottom of it, where you're kind of agnostic, you don't really care what the outcome is. You care that you got it right. And one of the best ways is I take off my investor hat and I put on my buyer hat. So if I was a home buyer, what would I be looking for? I'm unemotional. I've set my own emotions and my own investment aside. I've said, if I was a buyer, what would I be looking for? What would this look like when I am starting to do my comparative market analysis? So let's talk about some of the steps in valuing properties. The first thing that I do is I create a worksheet. And I'm going to share with you, this is a worksheet that we like to use. This is the property value analysis worksheet. So that's the first thing I do is I create a worksheet. And then the next thing that I like to do is I like to then understand the neighborhood. Well, how can you understand neighborhood? You can understand what's happening with some trends. And I'm going to show you this live, how we do this. Then you select sold comparables, what has recently sold in the area. And then we select active comparables. And we're going to use the lowest of the actives or the solds. If markets are going up, we're going to be using the actives. If markets are going down, you're probably going to be using the solds. It just depends on what's happening in the area. We'll show you all this. And then we determine the final value for the property. What's this property really worth? You would do this by doing both the ARV and the as-is if you're looking for both prices in determining. So you've got to be able to access the data. You need to have access to sold homes, public records, the MLS, active homes on the MLS. We use Investor's Edge software. And you can have access to the area. You can have price graphs. So let's just kind of jump right into this. Let's just determine a neighborhood by looking at some of the heat maps and what needs to happen and what we are looking for here. So I think what we're going to do is jump back over here and let's just do Illinois. Well, let's do Chicago. So let's just do here's a property address. I don't know what this property address is for, but I just picked a random property address that just pulled up, okay? So when I am trying to determine the area or I'm trying to determine the neighborhood, I'm going to put an address into my Investor's Edge, and then I'm going to be using analytics and statistics. So the first thing I want to look at in statistics is what's been happening in the last 90 days. So I can clearly see on this specific property, we're seeing values go up 0.18 in the last 30 days. The rents have gone up 3.7%. If I want to look at it, price per square foot, this is a good indicator for me. In this specific neighborhood, you can see right now it's hovering at 143. Last month it was 144, 143, but you can see from last year in November, it was at 135. So you can see it's gone up. Average days on market, this is also interesting. A 5-bedroom in this area is going to be 157 days on market. You've got to plan on that. If you are planning on doing a rehab on a 5-bedroom house and you think you're going to sell the house in 30 days, you got something else coming because the average days on market is 157 days. So you got to plan on that. The average market here is 144 days, 124 days. And this is a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom. So you've got to plan on those things so that you know what you're getting yourself into. So market trends last 90 days, less new listings. There's been 5.26% fewer listings, and there's been 4.1% less solds. What basically tells me there's not enough inventory. It's really what it's saying. The other thing I can look at is pre-foreclosures. I can see there's about 123 pre-foreclosures, but if I look back in February, there's 455 pre-foreclosures just in this small little area. In addition to that, if you're looking to be a BRRRR investor or a rental a landlord, you can see average 3-bedrooms selling for $1,762, and a 5-bedroom is, I said they're selling, renting for $2,515. And this is dynamic and changes and updates all of the time. Listing trends, homes for sale has gone down, which means there's less homes. Average listing price and square footage. So you can look at all of this, days on market, everything in here in statistics. So you can really get a feel for the area, and you can print this out if you want to save it, or save it as a PDF, which I like to do. Then I get over here into my analytics. I like to look at my analytics. The first thing is values. So I look at estimated values. You can do it by per square foot, but this becomes what's called a heat map. And with my heat map, I can see on this side is $1 million plus, and on this side is under $100,000. Now, when you're zoomed in really tight, you can't really see it. But as I start zooming out, which I can do that simply with my zoom in, zoom out feature, and I come back over to here, I can get a really good idea. So it's really clear to me, over here on the, I'll just call it the west side, houses are a lot less money. You can see stuff in the hundreds to the 150s. You can see this little pocket in here, we're starting to flirt in the $500,000s. You've got some in the 300,000s. As you come over here, you get a little more expensive. So it's kind of interesting. I've got this area right here, this cluster that's telling me that I've got different values, but I can clearly see this street. I don't even know what this street's called, but Western Avenue. If I am this side of Western Avenue, these homes are going to be less money. I want to make sure I'm not pulling comps from over there. And I can also see this road here, whatever this, you can see this train station or light rail, whatever it is. This side here, you can see this side is not going to be comps. This is not going to be comps. I got to stick within here. So that's one of the things I do on my property value worksheet. The first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of these areas. So let me get rid of, bear with me one second so we can actually do this. There's a problem. The first thing I want to do is I want to start just putting my boundaries together. What are my geographical boundaries? And so the first thing I'm going to say here, I've got the property address. So I'm just going to come over here to my property address. Boom, this one on Levitt. And I am going to... There's a problem. Why is there a problem? Okay, well, we're just going to move it over here. Okay, that's not the right one. This is the address. So I'm just going to put the address in there. And I'll put all this information here in just a minute. But right now we're talking about area boundaries. So what I'm going to say is this Western Ave. If I come over to here, Western Ave. Okay, it doesn't want to let me. I've got their template. I should have grabbed another copy of that. But Western Ave, I'm going to put here as a boundary, right? So Western Avenue is a boundary right over here. And then I'm going to come over to this side and I'm going to say, what is this boundary over here? And it looks like it's, what's the street called? Wood Street. So it looks like, as I zoom out, it looks like this Wood Street. So then I would come back over here and I would type in Wood Street. And I would know where that boundary is. And then I'm going to look, really, it looks like if I go north or south, I'm in good shape. It's really, I don't want to pass over here and I don't want to pass over here. So that gives me my natural boundaries. Now, this works both ways. You see, if I would have gone over Western Avenue, I would have been picking homes that were less money than the ones that are here. But what I see quite frequently is people having more expensive homes over here and they're going out of their area to get a more expensive home to justify that their house is worth more. That's a big no-no because I can clearly see these are worth less, these are worth more, these are worth less. I want to be in this neighborhood, but I also don't want to skip over if those houses are actually worth more money. So that's the next thing we're doing. So we're looking at the heat maps to get some ideas on what's happening with the area there. And this is value. We can look at value per square foot. We can run a heat map based upon value per square foot. That's interesting because that basically tells me the reason why these are a little more expensive. They are a little more expensive per square foot, but these are bigger homes is what it's looking like here. So these are bigger size houses, which is good to know as well, is going to be my assumption. The other thing I can do is look at MLS. I can look at lot sizes, I can look at listing prices, and I can look at price per square feet based upon the MLS, which also just gives me a better feel for what the heck is going on in this neighborhood. So I get a really feel for happening. The other thing I can look at is price growth. If I look at the last 6 month price growth, you can see this is less than 50%. This is 50% or greater. Somewhere in here, you're looking at 10, 15%. You can see the price growth across the board here is all in this yellow. So I'm saying, hey, you know what? We're seeing price growth goes wherever. It's going everywhere about the same. I'm really not going to be concerned about that. However, if you are looking for rentals, this can give you an idea. Obviously, these are cheaper rentals over here, more expensive rentals over here. Gives you an idea for rents that you're going to be having in the area. It all depends on what type of investing you're wanting to do. So that is what we do to help understand the area. I understand my natural boundaries, so I make sure I don't pass it. Next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting in the beds and bathrooms. Actually, so I'll be putting in the information on the specific property. So I know nothing about this house. And so I'm going to come in here and I can come right here to house information. So living square footage is 945. That's going to typically be above grade square footage. I got 3 beds. I've got 3 bathrooms. If I want to see the tax information, I come over here to property details, and based upon that, property details, living area 1510 square footage, gross area is 1510. I'm going to guess that half of that is above grade and half of that's below grade based upon the MLS saying that's 945 square feet. So what I do is I come back over here and I'm saying, hey, it's 1510, and I know I've got 3 beds, and I know I've got, 3 bathrooms. Okay, and then that helps me as I'm trying to determine these. I put in the year built on this property, which was 1959. And we're parking. The other thing I need to understand is parking on this. So I can come here to property details to try and figure out some of the parking. And basically I gotta just look over this. By the way, this is owned by US Bank. It might be worth somebody's in Chicago, might be worth giving them a phone call. Let's see here, beds, baths, square footage. I don't see anything with the car garage. It was transferred by sheriff's sale. Let's look at the MLS data. Is rental, let's see here. Garage. It says there's a detached garage. Next thing I'm going to do is jump into the pictures. And one of the things is we actually store the pictures. It looks like a 2-car garage. I can kind of see it back there. So I'm going to make the assumption that it's a 2-car garage. But let me just see if I can find a better picture. I can. So I can scroll down. Yep, 2-car garage. Fantastic. So I'm going to come back over here and say, yep, we got a 2-car garage, which is great. And the other thing that I do is I take a link to this property and I put it right here, and I can put any notes that I want to. This is really important because as I come down here and as I start getting sold comps and I start getting active comps, I'm going to be making some determinations and determining if these ones are ones that should be included in the range that I'm going to be doing. Okay, so that's determining the neighborhood. We are understanding the heat maps. We're understanding the values, the value per square foot. We're zooming in, we're zooming out. We're making notes on the actual process, what's happening there. We click on analytics. We're looking at price growth. We're documenting on the comps worksheet the roads, the rivers. Those natural barriers could be anything, not just roads. Typically, they are roads. Where are the points where the values actually change when we're seeing something different than we did before? And we're documenting that on this worksheet. In Investor's Edge, then we type in the property address and click on the left. This will open up the property details. And so next thing we're going to be doing is pulling comps. MLS comps, we'll look at this, we'll start putting some things in. So let's actually look at this. So if I come here to MLS, and what we're going to want to be doing, property details are just right here. So I'm coming to comps and nearby listings. This is the tab I'm going to want to be looking into. And so what I'm trying to figure out here is I can get public data, MLS data, or both. I want to get, typically I look at both, so that does that. The date range, I'm going back a year. The square footage is 1,200 to 1,800. It just auto-populates that because I'm at 1,500. The distance, I'm going to start with a half mile, and we'll see. We're going to do sold homes, but I'm going to do residential to make sure I don't get commercial properties or anything else like that. The property type, I'm looking for single family because my house is a single family, so I'm helping to kind of do that. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to sort. I'm going to click this amount, and this will sort from lowest to highest. What that gives me the ability to do is go look at each one of these properties, and I start with the lowest and I work my way up because I'm thinking as a buyer. If I was going to buy a house, I would say, what's the cheapest house that I can get that's a 3-bedroom that's in this general area? Now, one of the things you can see, some of these comps are going outside of my natural barriers, so I'm going to actually adjust this to 0.40 and see what that does to my neighborhood, so I can tell, hey, 28 is not one I want to use as a comp, so we'll see that here in just a minute, and I am going to adjust to low to high. So automatically, I had some 160s in there. Now I've only got some 230s as my lowest, all because I tightened up this area and tightened up this neighborhood. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking for comps, and first thing we're looking for, these are just sold comps. I'm not looking at active comps yet. And so I'm going to click on this first one. And funny enough, I think this first one is actually on the same street as my subject property. Anytime I see that, I smile. That gets me excited. This is on Levitt Street. My subject property is also on Levitt Street. So 9742 and this is 9726. These are right down the road from each other. This is a fantastic comparable if the condition is going to be like my condition. So first thing I do is come over to MLS and I read the description. What does it say? Modern, original, detailed, including bath, kitchen. Home is enhanced by beautiful hardwoods, beautifully done living room, 2 spacious bedrooms. Great, easy to walk to. What I don't know, mid-century modern with original detail. I don't know if that original modern means it's in crap condition or not. Oh, this is interesting. This looks remodeled. It has good hardwood floors. It does have oak cabinets, so it's not quite as good as what I would be doing on a remodel. But if this is the type of remodel you're planning to do, this is the price you're more than likely going to get out of your house. If you're planning on doing a better remodel, then you could be getting a better price out of it. But this is a great one. I'm going to put this as an FHA. So look at these bathrooms. I'm looking at the bathrooms. The bathrooms need some work. I'm planning on doing a lot more. I'm going to give this an FHA grade. I'm not going to say it's fully remodeled. This tile looks out of date. You've got the basement downstairs. Nice little house. I don't know if this house has a 2-car garage. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this address over here. I'm going to give this an FHA. This is a sold property. It was an FHA. I'm going to copy this information over. So now I have a worksheet to know how I came up with my actual values. I'll put the address, I'll put how far away, the bedrooms, the baths. I'll put all that information. We don't have time to go through all that right now, but I'm going to look at that, and you'll notice I put this as an FHA property. Not an as is because it doesn't need work. It's in move and ready, but it's not quite an ARV property because it doesn't have the nice finishes. The bathrooms aren't in good shape and those types of things. And that is a sold comparable. And I'm going to keep doing that. So that's one. And then let's go to the next one here. The next one is also on Levitt, 9726 Levitt. This one's sold. This is interesting as well to me. Let's see what that comes up with. So again, first thing I'm going to, oh, whoops, that's the one we just barely looked at, 9720. Okay, this is on Hamilton Ave. So let's pull up Hamilton Ave. If you click on that details, it will pull up another one for you, another tab. And so let's see what that looks like. So this one looks like it was a tax sale, is exquisitely maintained. This home exudes quality and style, totally upgraded throughout, large room. So totally upgraded throughout, stone fireplace. This property sold 49 days on the market. It sold for $359,000. The downside is I don't have pictures for some reason. Don't know, but I would move that over here. I put that as an ARV. That one's going to be $359,000 is what that property actually sold for. That's really interesting as we're working through this, and I'm going to put that one down. Again, we don't have time for each one of these. Oh shoot, we sorted the wrong way. Let's resort these. This is the amount. Okay, so 219. So we start with the lowest property, and my sort was wrong, so we would redo and go through each one of these. My point with this is for you to get the idea. We're not going to fully value this property, but for you to get the idea. What you're doing is coming here, sorting, you're making your changes, you're going from the lowest to the highest. You look at each one of those. You're bringing it over to your spreadsheet, and you're saying, is this an as-is, meaning it's not inhabitable? Is it an FHA, meaning it's move-in ready, but it doesn't have all the fine finishes? Or is this an ARV property? You put the bedrooms and the bathrooms and put the links to the property. You then change this search that we're dealing with, and you start looking at active properties. So I just changed this to active and contingent. Contingent means that they have an offer and they're waiting to close. And I sort this again. I click on the amount. I'm sorting it from lowest to highest. You can see it goes from 239 to 447. Each one of those, I'm going to click on these. I'm going to look at the pictures. I'm going to read the MLS comments, and I'm then going to say, does my house, once it's fixed up, is it going to be better or worse than this property or the same? If mine's going to be better, then I make a determination. Is it FHA, is it as is, or is it ARV? So I come over here, nice bungalow, but tree lined, homes in good condition, three beds, formal dining, price to sell, don't miss. Nothing about this tells me this is a nice remodel. I then come in here and look at the pictures. Clean house. It's got $90 cabinets. I'm going to say this is probably a good FHA property just from taking good looks at this. And it doesn't look like it has a garage. So I would then come to my worksheet. I'd put that as a good FHA home in actives. Once I do this and I build this spreadsheet out, what I'm then doing is I'm saying, what am I going to include in the range? And I click on these to include them in the range. And so I may say, you know what, I think these three are the best my solds, and I think these three, once you actually have the data populated, which we haven't taken the time to do here, then you can come back through and say which ones are those. And if you're ever wondering, you can click on the link since you copied it, and with that you can then relook at the pictures and make some determinations. With that, it will then auto-calculate for you the solds, the actives, and give you a low, average, and high range. And then you can determine, you type in a final value. Nobody can do that for you but you, and you can put some notes in as to why you did that. It will also give you an average, low, and high days on market. You can also look at the properties. Then what you do is you come in and you say, what do I need to do to make my property be the same or better than the ones that I'm using as comps? And so with that, you can say, you know, working order, builder's grade, medium grade. So you can say grass and lawn, we need to have everything in working order. It wasn't that big of a deal. But sprinklers, they did an amazing job of sprinklers. So we need high end on the sprinklers, let's just say. The roof, we're going to have to, it's got to be working. You know, so you go through cabinets, we need builder's grade or medium grade. Oh, we need medium grade on that. And so that helps you determine. And then when you're trying to bid out your rehab, you go back to these used in range, which are the comparables that you decided to use. And based upon that, you can actually build the work that needs to be done on this specific property. That's all going to help us in valuing the property and knowing what this property is actually going to sell for. Here's some things to keep in mind. We want to use the public records on the MLS. I usually start within 6 months. I start with 20% larger and smaller, distance being a half a mile I start, but you can see on that one I adjusted it to 0.4 because when I went the half a mile, I was getting comps outside the area. It doesn't mean you actually necessarily have to adjust it. You just exclude those comps as you're going through. Property classification, we looked at solds at first. Then, looking at the map and determining the comparables in the same neighborhood, we make the determination. We click on the MLS amount. We look from high to low. Starting with the least expensive, we click on each property to open into a new tab like we did. We look at beds and baths and square footage. We look at pictures to help understand the condition. We look at the MLS sold notes from the agent. We document that all on our comps worksheet. We determine if it's as is, FHA, or ARV. Then we select the best 3 to 4 comps. We're going to select the best 3 to 4 actives and the best 3 to 4 solds. Once you have 3 or 4 good comparables, you stop. You don't keep going. You sort from lowest to highest. You keep going until you find 3 or 4 comparables and you stop looking. There will always be more expensive properties. Always. There will always be more expensive properties. Okay, do the process, the exact same thing we just did. We do that for active homes as well. And so you basically go through the entire thing, selecting sold actives, least expensive. Again, this is the whole process. It's just we're doing the exact same thing. We're just using it for active homes instead of for sold homes. Okay, now let's get into a few scenarios you might run into. What if you don't have enough comparables? If you don't have enough comparables, you can increase your distance. Start by going from a half mile to 0.75 and then ending on a mile. You don't want to be going over a mile. The other thing that you can look to do is you can increase your range from 6 months to 12 months, meaning your sold range, go from 6 months to 8 months to 12 months to see if you can find that there. Start by looking at the neighborhood and determine if you increase your distance, if that affects the overall value. If not, start with just increasing your area. Because I'd rather have something that's sold more recent and a little bit further away than I would have something that's really old. And so I'd rather start with that. If it doesn't affect value, then you increase your date range and you do the same process to get the comparables. If you've gone to a mile and 12 months and there's not enough comps, you need to make some adjustments. The area is going to be very difficult and very hard and to determine solid value, meaning you're going to be taking more risk on, and that's something that we want to avoid, is taking on undue risks. So you've got to be careful with that. As we're determining the final value, this is very important to know how to value the properties on your own. I hope this has been really helpful for you as an overview of valuing properties. If you want more help in doing this or anything else real estate related, check out our Find Fund Flip system. We have dozens of hours training, deal finding software like you just experienced and saw, access to our 100% financing loans. Go over to dohardmoney.com/get started. Okay, let's see here. I've got a bunch of stuff that we need to look at. Do the demo. Let's see. I've got that. Bell bottoms. Yes, you're still cracking me up, Cheryl. Sold prices, Chris. Yep, you've got it. We talked about that. Is the map only searchable by radius, or can you draw a border and pull comps? I think you can draw a border, but let's try it. I can't remember. Boom. Let's see here. I don't know. See, the comps. MLS comps. Let's look at that. Yeah, you can draw a border. Search. Click on this. Draw a shape in the mount area. Yeah, so you can draw a shape in this area. And then, we're just drawing a shape right here. And then you can search by that. So, Chris, I hope that helps you. How long do you spend analyzing potential properties? Great question, Chris. When you're first getting started, I think it's going to take you 2 hours to analyze. When you get really proficient at it, it should take you about an hour, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, but I think about an hour. That said, you shouldn't be analyzing properties just for marketing purposes, because with each one of these properties in our Investor's Edge software, it actually has an estimated value. This estimated value is $232,000. Estimated equity is negative $6,962. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking the mortgage information, we're making a determination about how much we do reverse amortization to say this is what we think it's going to, this is what we think they owe, subtracted by how much we think the property's worth, which tells you if you should send a postcard or not. Once they accept the offer, or once they engage with you, then it's time to spend the hour of research in actually determining your property values. One of the things I promised to everybody who was with us on this call till the end, if you want to get a copy of that property value analysis sheet, we'll give you a free copy of that. Just go to dohardmoney.com/livecast-PVA. Again, livecast-PVA. We'll put that in the comments here as well. This is the property value analysis that you can have and get access to. It'll do the math for you. It'll help you. It has instructions on it. If you want to get a free copy of that, go over to dohardmoney.com/livecast-PVA. To get a copy of your property value analysis worksheet. If you've enjoyed these, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit the bell notification. Do I have any new subscribers that joined the call today? If you're a new subscriber, please put a message in the comments. I would love to know. And please tell somebody else about this. Let's see here. Good evening, PBN951. Tell us who your name is, or maybe that is your name and you are part of, what's the new thing? Oh, Mandalorian, the new Star Wars thing. Has any of you guys gotten into that? My boys have been loving Mandalorian. If so, let me know. But check out our property value analysis sheet, dohardmoney.com/livecast-PVA. If you're enjoying these, please let me know what other topics you would like us to cover. We do these to help give you what you need to be successful. So type in sales skills or choosing good contractors or virtual wholesaling or finding cash buyers. Any of these topic matters that are interest to you, please put it in. A big shout out to Tanisha of being here, new subscriber. Thanks for being with us, new YouTube subscriber. Thank you so much. Check out our Income Hacker podcast if you enjoy these and you listen to podcasts. You can do Spotify, iTunes, Apple, whatever the case is. You can even ask your Google Home to say play Income Hacker podcast and it will start playing. Okay, new subscriber Joseph from Southern California. Thanks, Joseph. Glad to have you with us. Okay, Leroy Clemens won our swag the week before. This last week's winner, this is who had the best comments, the best interaction during and after the video, on the recorded video and also on the live, was Leroy. Okay, our winner for this last week, drum roll, who's excited here? Our winner is Chris. Chris is actually with us. Aren't you with us here today, Chris? Yes, Chris. Congratulations. And Chris, if I remember right, you wanted a large shirt. Right, Chris? You wanted a large? Remind me. Oh no, this is for next week. Dude, you're not getting this large shirt. Chris is getting our DHM hat and all this swag. Oh man, there's always next time, Chris. But congratulations, Chris, for being a winner. What you need to do is email support@dohardmoney.com. Put in the subject line, you're the swag winner. Put in your screen name, your email, your cell phone number. We'll get you the free swag sent out. Congratulations, virtual wholesaling. Okay, Israel, we got it on there. Congratulations to Chris. Chris, woohoo, you got it, man. Join us every single week. Find out if you won the swag next week, the I Flippin' Did It shirt. If you want to win that, join us for next week. You'll find out who won that. Join us next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Property value analysis. If you want to get a copy of that, check out dohardmoney.com. /livecast. Yes, Chris, you did get the hat. This is the OGO hats. This material is unbelievable. You haven't felt anything like it. It is our favorite hat. You will love it. And all the other goodies that are coming in there as well. All right, congratulations to Chris. I hope you have found today's helpful on how to value properties properly. Check out and get a copy of our property value analysis sheet by going to dohardmoney.com /livecast-PVA. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. Go flip and do it and make something happen. If we can help you, don't hesitate to reach out and make it a very profitable day. We'll see you next time.